Hello, hello again. It's Miss Disney here. Sorry, I've been a little bit of an AWOL. It's been a little crazy. I mean, with holidays and then Prince Disney growing up as he's almost 2 years old. I can't believe it's been almost 2 years since his birth. And well, just again, and of course, I have my job as a teacher. I was actually teaching 5th grade for a long while, which was nice. I was a reading 5th grade teacher, so kind of got a little tired of reading for a little while, so I had to take a little bit of a break, which is why a lot of my videos haven't been on. Plus, you know, now that the school year was back up, I had to put my focus on there. So, anyway, now that I've got my voice back, now that Prince Disney's asleep and Mr. Disney is out and about working on his trucks and whatever it is he does. It's most likely working on trucks, knowing him. I figure I come back to reading and come back to the old fairy tales of RWBY, Fairy Tales of Remnant. Not sure you guys remember this, but the first story I ever read to you guys was about the 4 seasons. The next one was the one after that was the Grimm Child, and the one after that was the Hunter's Children. In this reading, in this video, we're going to be reading something called The Shallow Sea, which is a traditional story in the world of Remnant. Now, before I begin, let's keep in mind that in the world of RWBY, we've got 2 different types of people. We've got humans, and we've also got faunists. Now, faunists are basically people, but with animal traits, such as ears, tails, scales, eyes, claws, you name it, they got it. Well, in this world, pretty much like how in our world, people do not like the faunists. In fact, they treat them like low-class scums, which of course they're not. They're very awesome, and quite frankly, I would love to be a cat girl. Not gonna lie, they're pretty cute. Maybe a husky. Oh, I wouldn't mind. Maybe I could be both. Maybe I'll be a hyena. Anyway, pretty awesome, and of course it's prejudice. There's some hate in there. Anyway, this is a story that takes place around the time of the faunists. So let's begin, shall we? Long ago, before the fish had scales, before the birds had feathers, and before the turtles had shells, when our gods still walked and crawled and slithered the earth, there were only humans and animals. And Grimm. There have always been Grimm. There will always be Grimm. But those creatures don't figure in this story. So just put them out of your mind if you can. The humans lived everywhere across Remnant, excepting one small island, which are Sagacious Perspicacious, sorry guys, and most ferocious god, protected as a haven for animals of all kinds. As I hope you will recall, little one, the god of animals takes whatever form they like, whenever they like. They might be a strong-headed ram in one moment, and a skittering skink the next. Or perhaps a broad-winged roc, and then, as quick as a blink, a fierce lion. Or, of course, any combination of any animal beasts under the sun, so that they might have the head of a lamb, the body of a boar, the feet of an elephant, and the wings of a wyvern. Their form shifts like a changing thought, like flowing water, and if you look away, remember, you should never look away from a god. You might miss a beautiful blending that will never exist again. Anyway, the god of animals catered and burrowed and fluttered over the earth, admiring the creatures they had gathered on this island, and seeing that it was good. But the thing about Sagacious Perspicacious, and indeed ferocious beings, is that they tend to get bored. There's a picture. And despite the excellent company of every kind of animal, the god was curious about the only living thing absent from the island. Humans. No, not Grimm. Grimm are not alive in the usual sense, nor does anyone want them. Please do put them out of your mind if you can. The god of animals was fascinated with humans, with their ability to create things and to adapt to new situations, and indeed to change themselves almost as readily as the god could change their spots. But they also knew that humans could be ruinous. Inviting humans to the island would be inviting trouble. No, it could not be. It would never happen. But the god was stubborn as a bull and crafty as a fox. Perhaps if they found some very special humans, ones who truly belonged on the island, they could find a way to keep them there. The god of animals toured the continents of Remnant, visiting every town and village of every kingdom, searching for those who were perhaps just a little more than human. Their eagle eyes sought out the misfits and the outcasts who didn't fit in where they were, perhaps because they truly belonged somewhere else. And the god, who could change their shape at will, assumed the awkward form of humans and walked the earth in their constricting clothes and cramped shoes. When they found someone they wanted, they whispered and planted one thought. Leave. Sail to the shallow sea. It's where you're meant to be. The god of animals arranged for a great ark to make its way across the oceans of Remnant. It docked at each kingdom and picked up those humans who longed for a change, or felt they weren't welcome among their own people, or had never felt comfortable in their own skin. The ark loaded with those chosen people sailed down to the shallow sea. And when it reached the sea, it sailed around the island. The people grew uneasy as they observed a harsh desert stretching from the coast as far as the eye could see. They became unsettled as they took note of the diverse wildlife along the shores. Were you wondering whether there were any Grimm on the island in those days? As I've told you, Grimm do not figure into this story, and I wish you would clear them from your mind. This barren land is no place for us. We should turn back, the people said. I want you to see all of this land for what it is, the god of animals said. Trust me, you do belong here. Oh, speaking of animals, hi, Quinn. You do belong here if you are willing to work for it. Hi. But then the ark rounded the cape to the southern shore, and the humans saw that it was a paradise. The god leapt from the ark and splashed into the water, which reached only to their waist. As they stood there, they shed their human form and took on the horns of a ram, the tail of a monkey, the scales of a serpent. This can be your home, if you want it. You're right, this is no place for mere humans. But you are no mere humans. If you jump from the boat and join me, you will see. The people with the strongest faith leapt from the boat immediately and splashed in the shallow water toward the shore. Those who stayed behind on the boat watched their brethren transform before their eyes, each of them acquiring an animal trait: ram horns, rabbit ears, cat ears, monkey tails, and more. By the time they reached land, they were something new to Remnant, both human and animal at the same time. This land is no less hospitable than where we came from, the people on the beach said. But here at last we have control of our fates, free from the influence of others. More people on the boat, emboldened by the miracle they had witnessed, jumped next to into the water. They followed the others to the shore of the island, each of them changing in the process, taking on animal features of their own: leopard spots, lion manes, lamb ears, pig snouts, crocodile scales, and more. The final group of people on the boat hung on to the railing. "What have you done to them?" they cried. "They didn't do anything to us," the people on the shore called. "The water hasn't changed us. It has washed away the lies to reveal what we've already been. Just under the surface, our old forms were just a shallow disguise. This is who we are." A few dozen more people on the boat were convinced. They dropped into the ocean, and though they transformed more slowly, by the time they stepped out of the water, they, too, had become their true selves and were welcomed onto the island. But the small group remaining on the boat were too horrified or afraid to take the leap of faith. "What kind of monsters are you?" they shouted at the god of animals. The god's heart hardened against these people. "You were my chosen ones, but you have disappointed me. You may stay on the boat and return to your homes. There is no place for you here." And with that, the ocean current swept the ark away with the humans. The sea revealed the shallowness of their thoughts, the god told their chosen people, without them ever stepping off the boat. From that moment on, there have been animals, humans, and faunus, and the descendants of the humans who turned away from our God's great gift have always carried envy in their hearts. To this day, they resent us for reminding them of what they are not and what they can never be. So, what lesson do you think you have learned from this tale? A lot to think about. Do we accept who we are now? Or do we stay the same and hide? Maybe that's something to think about.